What's tonight for? If this team get beat, we in the final four.
He's a poor man LeBron, bro, when it comes to trades. It's like you guys look at, KD, what you go down
3 games is a quick sweep.
Not cap if you want to. Cap if you want to. Cap if you want to.
You know what's in me.
When I said that they let James Harden do the same thing and let Kevin Durant do the same thing, and they're essentially letting James Harden do the same thing again.
I said Kevin Durant should have took a 50-50 blame, and Westbrook should have took a 50-50 blame too.
Us motherfucking down. You feel me?
Shout out to
What's the motherfucking down? We're back on this beautiful ass motherfucking Monday. You feel me? We back in the building with the boys. What's up, fellas?
How y'all doing?
Boo, I'll be here in a second. You know he always leave. But
fresh off the Easter party, baby. You know how it
fresh
goes.
off of Easter. Happy Easter, past Easter, belated Easter for people that celebrate it, for the people that don't. Just another happy Sunday, just another happy Sunday. You feel me? Hope everybody has some fun, didn't eat too much. Some people didn't shake their ass too much. DJ, you know what I mean? You feel me? But, we got to get into this shit. We got to do it right, man. It's episode 47, We got to do it right. You got to do it right. I got a question for you niggas. All right, we're going to answer it later. But I'm going to ask you now, all right? And the question is simple. It's simple. If you could change one NBA rule, which rule would you change? Give you some time to think about that.
I don't need time to think about this. That's an easy one.
Our motherfucking first segment. Now, you guys seen the motherfucking title. You seen the motherfucking thumbnail. All you guys talk about. We'll get to it later, Carlos, but I see a little answer there. Would you bring it back? You mean you bring it back? But let's get into it. We are a fan-based talk show. We talk logic, but from a fan's point of view, because we aren't professional basketball players, even though some of most of us here do have some playtime in the sport, whether football or basketball. We aren't professionals here, so we are fans of the sport, so we give you our logic from the fans' point of view. And I want to preface this off by saying, because from our last episode, when we was talking about Boston, and Buat was saying that that he think that Paul and KG talk like they won multiple rings. A guy actually commented on TikTok and thought he was talking to Buat, but he's actually talking to me. The old rope a dope, how Troy get him. You know how Troy get him, act like I'm somebody, tell him I'm not that nigga, and he never wrote back. Nigga was stupid. He was like, damn, this nigga got me. Like, yeah, you got. But he was saying some shit, and then Buwap got him, and he ain't come back no more. But I did tell Buwap when Buwap called me that the problem is the guy was saying that TikTokers get up here and they talk like they played the sport and they didn't even make the high school team. And he told Buwap contradicted himself because he's saying Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett shouldn't talk like that, but then he's talking like that. So I wanted to straighten something up real quick. Like, nah, nigga, we are fans. We're supposed to talk like that. That's how we're fucking supposed to talk. Like, the fans are supposed to have the most to say. Facts. We consume it. We consume the sport. We watch the sport. We consume it. We pay our money. I pay a fee every fucking month to have NBA League Pass so I can watch games. These guys might pay for cable every month so they can watch games. Like, we consume it. Our money pays for it. So yeah, anybody that consumes the sport has a right to. That's right. Opinions are always welcome. Thank you. Matt, New Yorker. Like, opinions are always welcome over here. So if you got an opinion, come share it with us, man. We fans just like you fans. We don't care if we disagree. We want to debate it. We want to talk about it like we supposed to do. You feel me? And that leads me to my first motherfucking conversation. I saw a bunch of fans on Facebook getting overly excited, like they always do every time Bron does something. And Aaron, what's up, Aaron? They always get overly excited when Bron does something. So I don't want to talk about Braun, but I want to talk about the aspect of the conversation that people are having. LeBron has one more 30-point game or whatever it is than Michael Jordan, and people just feel like, that's something that, needs to be talked about to a high level of degree. So I want to have a deeper conversation as fans, right? And I want you guys in the chat to join in, New Yorker and AA Ron. What is Brian, what's up, bro? What's up, Mr. Snow? What is the difference between the stats argument and the accolade argument? And I'm gonna start with you, Mulich. What is the difference? That's what we're gonna start. We want to start with clarifying a difference for the two. Go ahead, Mo.
Well, I mean, obviously stats are something that you acquire both individually and team-wise, right? And accolades are something that you acquire both, again, individually and team-wise. But I think the ultimate difference is stats can be used to inflate a narrative or push a certain narrative, and accolades are more set in stone, right? To where it's really hard to argue against somebody's accolades, to where it's easier to argue against somebody's stats because you can argue the time, the place, the situation of the game, who they're playing, this and that, longevity, like how a lot of people talk about LeBron. But with accolades, it's different because that's something that's more set in stone, at least for me personally. But it's crazy how people are trying to tie or trying to make it seem like one isn't as important as the other, because they literally work hand in hand. But like it's numbers and hardware, like numbers, hardwares, and awards. Like that's what really separates it from, I guess, each other. If we want to talk about the actual definition.
DJ,
the stats versus I did it in the post. It was probably like my first or second in the post. I don't know if y'all remember the GOAT versus the BOAT, where I sat there and I broke everything down. Here's what I will say, because I think my in the post summed this thing up perfectly. So I think accolades will tell you how dominant you were over your era, but stats will just tell you how good you were over time. And the problem with stats is it can be stretched just by the amount of years you play based on your longevity. But accolades are like, okay, if you win MVP, let's go with a crazy number, 8 times in 10 years. That's how dominant you were during that time period. It doesn't matter what your stats say. That's just how dominant you were over your opponent. And that's why I always say the greatest of all time and the best of all time is two different things, because greatness is measured by your accolades, because greatness measures how dominant you were in the game, and your stats, which could go for best ever. Greatest and best are two different things, and they're measured by two different things. I don't know how much more I got to tell us to people. Like I tell you all the time, Jesse Owens, 6 gold medals in 1 Olympics. That is greatness. You're in front of Hitler, and it takes all the stuff into account. That's greatness. But we could sit here and watch everybody run and go through all the Olympics and all that stuff now, and they're all better than what Jesse Owens were back then, but they're not more dominant and greater than he was during his time period. And that's the difference right there.
I mean, DJ, damn, you ain't have to. I ain't tell you to bring the hot water, not yet.
Oh,
all right, so now that we establish a difference between the debate of stats, numbers, and accolades, awards, which one is more important when you're judging which one is more important when we're judging how we rank the best players to ever play the game? Because you guys know Troy doesn't have a GOAT. There's no GOAT to me. There's no greatest of all time. These guys can't play each other to see who would have played against who better, who would have did better against. There's no way to tell that in history, right? So you have the greatest of errors. That's how I see it. But so how do we go about deciphering what guy has what and what's more important when it comes to putting these guys in our top 10? DJ, I'll start with you again.
Well, like I said, there can be 2 different top 10s. There could be one based on greatness and one who you think is overall the best. For me, in basketball, both of them are Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan skews the line. But nonetheless, you can do accolades for greatness. Accolades for greatness because accolades really defines how great you were over that period of time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I have Michael Jordan as my GOAT. And then you can go back and you can go to the boat, which I call the boat, which would probably be the best of all time. Once you go by stats, and even that, I mean, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan is still the best player of all time to me too, because longevity plays a part in how in the best player of all time. But if you need longevity to break the records that somebody broke in a certain time frame and you got to do it longer than them, you can't be the best, bro. You just can't. Like there's no way you can be the best. Like 15 years, Michael Jordan finished fourth all time in scoring or whatever. It took Kobe 20 years to get there. It took LeBron 18 years to get there. Things like that. Like that's the difference. Like stats can back up greatness and best. But greatness is definitely defined by the accolades that you had during your time. Boo, what's up, man? I'm done.
What's good, my brother?
What's up, Boo? So Aaron,
What you want, man?
you say you take you take the best from each era and then you compare what they achieved. That's fine, but I think that's how you get your top 10 list, right? Greatest players of all time, right? Your top 10 greatest players of all time, right? But when we're talking about the GOAT, right? The GOAT, meaning this one player overshined everybody. Like there are guys in history that you will give a head nod to in most categories that you use to rank, and those guys are different. So how could you then use that measurement to say that this guy is the GOAT? Because if we talk about rings, as fans say, you know, Bill has 11. You know, if we talk about, you know, MVPs, or if we go down the line of how many finals a person's been to, like other guys that have played the game, it has those particular categories over other guys. And that's why I think it's harder, right, to say that this guy is a GOAT, the greatest of all time, because you're measuring him by what standard? Are you measuring him by the standard of what the league that he played in, or are you measuring him by what we measure players by today? Because those two things are different. You understand what I'm saying? So I get that that a lot of the consensus takes these, oh, this guy accomplished this in his era, this guy accomplished this in his era. We're going to take that and see who accomplishments was more. But my problem with it is it then gets discredited when we start talking about, oh, guy has this many rings. Oh, well, Robert Horry has this, or John Havlicek has this. Like there's no defining definition for us to be like, all right, this is what goes into the GOAT. So that's why it's hard for me to be like, all right, yeah, this guy is my GOAT. I'm a big Larry Bird fan. You can see behind me, but I don't call Larry Bird my GOAT. Like that's just weird to me. But I want to kick it over to Buwap. So Buwap, we're basically talking about his numbers or accolades. Right now the first question I ask is how do you differ from the two? How do you define accolades and how do you define stats? And I want to kick that question to you, and then I'll kick the second one to you when you finish with that one.
I mean, for me, it's like it's a balance, obviously. You know what I mean? To me, you can't be considered as the GOAT without considering the numbers and accolades, right? And for me, I'm gonna add this caveat for why I have Jordan as the GOAT. To me, when I look at his career, and I mean, I know a lot of the LeBron sexuals, as I like to call them, will just point out, well, y'all don't look at the Wizard years. And we do. I personally do. But I also look at the fact that he was retired for 3 years. And he came back and truly just played for the love of the game.
I hear you, man.
Now, in his mind, he might have thought, obviously, because he's a great competitor, that we should be doing more. We should make the playoffs because I'm on the team, and he trying to instill X, Y, and Z into these players. But at the end of the day, that team is filled with a bunch of players that we do not know to this day, like I wouldn't say that we don't know. Maybe I'm pretty sure some of us know some of them players on that Wizards teams in '02 and '03. But at the end of the day, none of those players was like Hall of Fame worthy players or any type of. It wasn't a real team that you thought Jordan could win a title with. Like you might have thought maybe he can make the playoffs, but if you're just being real, you knew they're not going to win a title with this team. Like I don't give a fuck who's on this team. If Jordan don't have a hell, Jordan need to be the second option on this team. He don't need to be
And
the
the third.
option. You know what I'm saying on this team to win the title. So like, but if we just look at Jordan's career, I'm mostly talking about with the Bulls, obviously. I don't think it's a series that he lost that he shouldn't have lost. I don't think it's a series. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jordan played in, I want to say, it's either 49 or 39, something like that series. It's only one series that an opponent outscored Michael Jordan in it. One.
No, I'm with you, Aaron.
So for me, when I look at Jordan career again, it's just everybody like to point out what happened before he got Scottie Pippen. Well, he was a rookie on a bad team, like a lot of rookies be. When
I'm
you're
gonna do that right after the show, Aaron. So
when
is
you're,
Moo and so is Buap.
when you're that high up on the draft lottery, you know what I'm saying? If you're a top 5 pick, you're probably going to go to a bad team, which Jordan did. And on top of that, he also brought it in all of those series that you can look at and be like, well, he lost, but at the end of the day, he brought it. It wasn't like he shied away from the moment or anything like that. Simply lost to the better team. So when I look at his first 7 years without him winning a ring, I just pointed at those things. Like again, he didn't lose to, he didn't underperform, and he didn't lose to a team that he shouldn't have lost to. So that's why he would be my GOAT, because again, he has the best basketball resume to me. Because when I look at all the people that you can probably put in this conversation, from Kareem to LeBron, Kobe, whatever, you know what I'm saying? There's some people that think Kobe is a GOAT, whatever. Whoever you want to look at in this situation, they have blemishes. It's some series that I thought Kareem should have won. It's some series that I thought LeBron should have won. And it's some series that I thought Kobe should have won. Jordan, on the other hand, there's not a series that he did not lose, that he did not win, that he shouldn't have won, and there's not a series that he lost that he shouldn't have lost. People point out, oh, well, he should have beat like Milwaukee Bucks his rookie year. The Bucks, do y'all know who's on that team?
Sidney Moncrief. Them boys is cold.
Do your homework. Do your fucking.
We don't do homework today, Buap. We just done with the 90s. But go ahead.
I get it. We just done with the 90s. We done with the 80s. Whatever. Like
It's gotten so bad, Buap went to anime.
Hey, bro, Buap in here spitting facts. He know what time it is. That's overall, that's still one of the greatest defensive teams of all time.
Bro, a lot of people don't even know Terry Cummings damn near put up 30 points a game in that series.
Terry Cummings was cold.
He was a dog. Thank you, Aaron. A fucking dog. A fucking dog. Terry Cummings was a dog, bro. Like, but a lot of people don't know the history of the game, so they just whatever. He lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. They never did anything in the 80s. Like, bro, they was a powerhouse. Like, they just at the
Kept
end of
running into the motherfucking balls.
yeah, bro. Like they had their own hurdle to get over. So at the end of the day, I mean, everybody got some blemishes, but I don't think Jordan really has any. That's the thing about Jordan. Like, he don't really have no blemish. He always performed. He always won the series that he should have won. And once he got to the mountaintop, couldn't nobody kick the man off the mountaintop. Once he got there, couldn't nobody kick him off. He literally retired, came back, lost the series to a very good Orlando Magic team. Next year, swept them boys. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Swept them. Get them out of here. I'm back. Y'all caught me as 4'5" Jordan. I'm 2'3" Jordan now. Get him out of here. He did that. So they were strong. You know what I'm saying? Like the numbers, the accolades, all of these things do matter. But Jordan to me is blemish free to a degree. I'm not saying he's perfect, but when it comes to every other NBA player that has ever played a game in basketball in the NBA, he got one over you. It's just as simple as that till you prove otherwise.
And that's what I want to say here. I understand everything you and Boo are saying, like why you can say that Michael is the GOAT. But to me, and these guys know this, I don't really participate in the GOAT conversation because I just, like I said, eras are too different, right? That's one thing we don't normally take into consideration either. Is the eras are so different from Michael playing to LeBron playing to when Magic played to Steph playing. Like the times are so different. The game is so different. Like players have advantages other players didn't have, right? That will make their case a little bit stronger, right? So that's why I think it kind of gets unfair in some places because people like to talk about one thing, right? We like talking about the three-point line. I seen a guy, I don't know if it was on one of our posts. I believe it was on one of our posts. I think a guy commented and was like, "Oh, but they moved the 3-point line back 2 inches or 2 feet, whatever it was, for 3 seasons." And I'm like, nigga, where the fuck did you get that from? Can you tell me the 3 seasons they moved it back? Because it was 1 season they moved it back because the very next season they changed it right back to its original. And the only thing they changed, you guys said they make the 3-point line shorter. No, they made the top of the key shorter. Everything else stayed the same. The top of the key became in some. The wing and the corner was the same length. That didn't change, right? So it's these factors, Adam. There are factors, Boo-Wop, DJ, Moolich. This is why I want to change, right? So when we get to numbers being more important, like LeBron fans say, or accolades being more important, like Jordan fans say, right? Where do we decipher, or where do we start the argument of what is more important? Is it the 6 rings? Is it the 10 finals and 40 points? Like, how do we decipher? How do we get to the point that, we could sit down and be like, all right, these are the most important things of why I say this guy is number one. And I'm going to start with Moolich.
I think all of it at the end of the day is going to be subjective, right?
But 100%, Aaron.
In order to kind of sit down and really talk about it and really kind of break it down to see which is which and how we're going to, classify it or how we're going to do the ranking system, it's going to have to take not only looking back to see what transpired back in the day, but seeing what's going on in the game now. Like, you can't have the accolades and not have the stats, but you can't have the stats and not have the accolades. Like, how about they all have to come together as one? But at the same time, you have to take it to competition. You have to take into the time period, the eras, right? The rules that people are playing basketball or adhering to during that time period. So, of course, the game is going to change and the game is going to be ultimately different, right? Depending on the era. But at the end of the day, it has to be some way, shape, or form of collectiveness to get to one specific kind of person. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's going to be subjective, right? Like, the reason why a lot of people are going to say that Jordan is the GOAT is because they literally grew up watching him be the greatest player that they ever fucking seen on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's indisputable in their eyes. It's not only the 6 rings. It's not only the him being this ranking in scoring. It's like, at that point in time, Michael Jordan was the craziest, greatest person we've ever seen come on the fucking court. Before it was Magic, before it was Bird, before it was Dr. J, before it was, every single person is going to have their quote unquote GOAT, right? Just like what you can ask, you can go to LA. Everybody's GOAT is Kobe Bryant. You can't tell them niggas differently. That's all they know, right? Just like now, a lot of these kids, all they seen is LeBron James. All they see is a Steph Curry. So you can't tell them no differently that their GOAT isn't the guy who they seen winning championships. And you can't go tell them to go back and be like, yeah, nah, that's you telling me to do homework. You feel me? You know, kids don't like to do fucking homework. You telling me to go back and watch these old ass games with these old ass dudes who I don't even fucking know, when I can sit up here and watch LeBron James go for 40 every single night, and he's 39 years old, and I'm in high school, and that's all I care about. Like, at the end of the day, it has to be intellectual conversation. You can't just have these conversations with everybody, because people are going to do just that. They're going to be like, oh, well, I seen him play. Like, I seen LeBron play my whole life. So I didn't get to see Jordan play. I didn't get to really see Kobe play to the end of his career. So, like, none of that shit means anything to me. I don't have to go back and watch it, because I know who my GOAT is, right? And that's where Troy is like, I don't have a GOAT, because that GOAT shit doesn't make any sense, because just like the eras, right? I can go by era. I didn't see fucking Kareem and the Big O and Dr. J, all of them play, right? So why would I have them as my GOAT when I never got to see them play, right? So like not having a GOAT, or not being a person who's going to be like, oh, well, this guy's going to be at the top of my top 10 no matter what. Like that's a better stance than be like, oh, well, Jordan's a GOAT, or well, Kobe's a GOAT, or LeBron's a GOAT. But you can't really back it up, because at the end of the day, you can't tie the two eras into one and to make it really seem as if these guys were to play, who's going to win? There's no way you can do that. So at the end of the day, it's better to just be subjective. And if you're going to be subjective, just be on a stance to where Troy is like, well, I really don't have a GOAT. I appreciate all of these players in every single one of their eras. But like for me, just to sit up here and say who's the greatest player of basketball that I've ever seen, I can't say that, because there's a lot of different eras, there's a lot of different players, and everybody plays a different way. Everybody accomplishes shit in their own kind of way.
Spitting in the chat.
Aaron is spitting in the chat.
I don't know where Mad New Yorker went, but Mad New Yorker was like, yeah, Aaron can have it, because
he's just bleeding right now, probably.
Spitting that day. Hey, whatever you smoking, keep smoking it, and keep smoking it, all right? DJ, I'm gonna kick it over to you.
So it's a mixture of both, but how do you define exactly which means more is totally subjective to what you believe in. And that's the issue. Going back, I said, hey, LeBron's the number one scorer of all time over time, and stats say, but we all know Jordan is points per game, the highest average ever. And had he not came back and played with the Wizards, he wouldn't even be tied with Wilt. He would have been undisputed number one. But I think accolades is where you have to start to separate everything, because there's a couple of different accolades that Michael Jordan has that people don't take into consideration. For one of the biggest debates right now is that Jordan shouldn't have been the Defensive Player of the Year award. He should have never won it. But people fail to realize in the year Jordan won a Defensive Player award, he won the steals title, and he had 200 steals and 100 blocks. That's been done 5 times in NBA history. Jordan has 2 of those. 2. Literally 2. So what I'm telling you is he was dominant on both sides of the ball. Not only that, like I said earlier, over the time frame, if you limit LeBron's career to the amount of years that Jordan played, LeBron has the accolades and LeBron has the stats. Easily. And something else that get lost in the translation as well is when Jordan retired the first time after only 3 championships, people were already calling him the GOAT. Nobody called LeBron the GOAT after he won his first 3 titles. Nobody. He didn't three-peat. He just went back-to-back. Jordan went three-peat twice. I don't think people understand how hard three-peating twice is. So it is a mixture of both. I don't think, like I said earlier, I don't think one can be greater than the other. It's just, as a fan, what exactly do you think matters more? To me, I think it's a mixture. I do think MVPs matter. I think rings matter. I think back-to-backs matter for sure, because ever since Jordan did it, Kobe and Shaq were the only other ones to do it. You know, so that's how great Kobe and Shaq was as a duo. I don't think anybody has ever put up a higher point per game average in a single finals appearance as Jordan did, because Jordan had 42 against the Suns. Like, there's so much to dive into here. So it just depends on, as a as the people receiving it, as the fans, like Troy said earlier about how the fans receive it, it all depends on how you receive it. Because somebody would say, well, LeBron led both teams in every category, and that's the first time it's ever been done in NBA history, which is a valid argument too. So it is a mix. But I mean, it's completely subjective. And I think when people are making their arguments, they forget it's completely subjective because something matters more to another person than it would to you. You know, people like, well, LeBron finished second in MVP voting, and Pau Gasol made Marc Gasol made second team, and LeBron didn't get the award. And it's like, yes, but first place awards and second place awards hold a different value as the amount of points you get from every voter. And that's why Marc Gasol ended up winning because he had more votes overall. Because LeBron might have had more first place votes, but in first and second place votes now combined together, Marc Gasol garnered more points because LeBron had a lot of third team votes and anything after that votes. So it's it's just a mix. I go Jordan as the GOAT. Like I said earlier, I go Jordan as the GOAT, and I go Jordan as the BOAT for both of them. But one thing I will always say is if you ask me as the GOAT of the NBA, I will pick Jordan. The GOAT of basketball, I will always pick Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He won more than 3 championships on every single level. Besides, I mean, high school he won 3, college he won 3, NBA he won 5. Like that's the GOAT of basketball ever. But just an NBA career, man, I got to take Jordan every time.
All right, before we kick it, because Boo, I'll get ready. I'm kicking it over to you. How do we define which one is more important, numbers or accolades is the question, but I want to answer the Mad New Yorker real quick. He's saying that Pete Maravich, hypothetically speaking, the college three-point line was 19.9 feet, and he would have made 13 three-pointers a game and would average 57 points. The one thing we love about this show, and we love you, the Mad New Yorker, we love you. We only speak in what happened.
Facts.
All right. We only speak in what took place. We don't speak in hypotheticals. Okay. So Pete never averaged 57 points. All right. On the rules, today's rules, no rules. We don't know what they were average. That's why I don't get into what would Jordan average in this era, because we don't know. Jordan is a different type of player in this era. He's a player that can shoot threes, probably at a high clip. All right, so we can't really get into that because I'm the type that brings evolution into it. But Buwa, how do we define which one is more important, numbers or accolades?
I mean, to me, the numbers will always speak for themselves, right? It's just what you do. Now, the accolades, as we know, is voted on. And we all know voter fatigue is for real. We've seen it. So it's like, not to say these guys that do make these votes don't know what they're talking about, but at the end of the day, it's not like these guys are getting switched around every year. A lot of these guys be on the panel for many years and they have the perspectives, which do tend to change, like a lot of people's perspectives change over the years. But at the same time, we all have a bias in us. Every person, you know what I'm saying? Some is stronger than others, but we all have a bias. Now, whether that bias is deemed fair or not is the real question, right? Because some biases can be just tunnel vision, and some bias can be just preferences. And I prefer to deal with people that just have a preference versus somebody just tunnel vision. Because you might be a fan of the Washington Wizards, a diehard fan, and you might believe every year we got a chance to make it to the finals. Get the fuck out of here. You're tripping. Have you seen your roster? You're tripping. You think that team's going to the finals? You're tripping. That's tunnel vision. Now, your bias could be, well, I like two-way players. And I don't think that's a strong bias, right? I think that's a preference more so than a bias, because two-way players to me have always stood out more so in this league. If you just go back in history, it's not a bias at that. It's not a real bias at that point. That's more like a logical bias, if you ask me, or a logical preference. So the numbers will always speak for themselves. The accolades will add to the numbers. So I'm gonna always lean towards a combination, no matter what. Like I can't just look at one and not look at the other. That's just what it is. Like you need the numbers, but you also need the accolades as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and say like you need MVPs, but like if you played in the league 20 years and you really think you one of them dudes, you need to have at least 5 all NBA teams. At least. Like just like it, like if you played 20 years and you talking about you one of them dudes, you need to have at least 5 all NBAs. And when I say one of them dudes, I'm talking about where you think that you need to be in conversations of the top 25, 30 players ever. You need at least 5.
That's a
Don't
fact.
even talk if you don't have 5 of those. I don't care about an MVP because I know those are more political and more controversial. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about 5 all NBA teams where at least I can say for 5 years of your career, you was at least a top 15 player. That's the starting point. Because the only
Hey,
player
but
what's up?
real quick, because you brought up the politics and the MVP voting, you do know that those same people vote for All NBA too. I just wanted to bring that up.
And I'm aware of that. That's why it's all tricky and those things of the nature. But I think it even get trickier when you got to pick one player versus 15 players, right? To put together, you know, an all NBA team or whatever. But for me, with the all NBA teams, it's just again, it's still like a gauge point for me. Like I can gauge you at that point. I can start looking at you like, oh well, you made 6 all NBA teams. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. So again, it's a totality of both, but I would always still lean towards, because we all know as players that got multiple all NBA teams that never won. So that's when the rings come in to the play. Like, did you win? That's when I'm gonna start, and you know what I'm saying, looking at you a little different, like separating you rather. Not looking at you no different because you still could be a great player and never won. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna have to compare you to the players that do have multiple All NBA teams and then got the numbers. Then I'm gonna have to start comparing you to them players that have won, which is how that go. It's not. I don't even want to call it unfortunate. It's just literally how that goes. That's just what it is. It's how that goes. It's a combined of everything. Because it's players that's won multiple MVPs that I don't like. Steve Nash, for example. I think he's a hell of a player, but there's no way I would put Steve Nash above D Wade on the all-time list. There's no way. No way.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand it because you know it gets a little tricky. The reason why I wanted to have this conversation, right? Because we're about logic over here, so we always got to take a step back from the crazy, you know, other podcasts that like just saying bullshit and saying stupid shit just to get clicks. We don't care about the clicks over here. We want to really talk sports. Like Aaron is really in the chat talking sports. We want to talk sports. That's what we do over here. So we got to break this thing down, and we like going deeper than what's on the surface of what you guys talk about. Like I don't care if a person has a GOAT. I don't care that these guys up here has GOATs, but it just gets the conversation gets thrown away to me when we start trying to point out one. Like Buop is 100% correct. In order for you to be the number one in the top 10 greatest ball players of all time, in order for you to be number one, you have to have both. And then, like Aaron said earlier, and like DJ had said earlier, you got to have the moments that go with it. Like you can't just have numbers and some rings and don't have the moments to go with it, and then you're like, oh yeah, well this person's number one on my list. Like, and everybody, it is opinion based, right? And everybody deserves to have their own opinion. You feel me? That's what a debate is for, is different opinions coming together and trying to work some shit out. You feel me? But it just gets unopinionated when you guys start saying 40,000 is better than 6 rings. There's no logic behind that. There's no logic that anybody can say that 40,000 points is better than 6 championships that came with 2 3-peats. Like, context gets so misconstrued in this debate, right? When we're talking numbers, when we're talking stats, when we're talking about who's the GOAT, right? You feel me? But we never take the time out to really sit down and understand the things that we say, that fans say. We never sit down and truly understand what the fuck we're saying. Because if we go just on these Facebook forums and all these Facebook groups, right? And you listen to, you read some of these guys' comments, and it's like, do you actually pay attention to the game of basketball? Or are you just one of those fanboys that just likes a player, doesn't really watch games, waits till Bron does something good, or waits till KD does something good, go look at the stats and be like, oh yeah, he did this. Like, but you ain't watched the game. You didn't see how he got there. Like, I always tell people, like, if a guy scored 20 points in the first 3 quarters, and then he scored 5 points in the fourth quarter, which is more important, the 20 in the first 3 or the 5 in the fourth? It's all important, because if he doesn't get the 20 in the first, his team is not in a position to be in the position that they are in the fourth for him to just have 5 points. Let's say they win the game. Like, you feel me? Like, you have to consider everything. You have to take it all. You have to put it into a jambalaya, and you got to stir it with your grandmother's big wooden spoon. Everybody know the wooden spoon I'm talking about. Grandma big wooden spoon that she stirred the motherfucking shit with. You feel me? Like, you got to stir it, and then whoever faces there when you're done stirring it, that's who should be there. But we get misconstrued, and Troy always says this on the show. We took this is my favorite player, the conversation, and we turned that to my favorite player is the GOAT. And that's all it is. It is my favorite player is the GOAT. So I think these guys explained it good. I think Aaron in the chat explained it well. You have to take both of these things into consideration, numbers and accolades. And the last thing I want to touch on before we move on and we start having some fun, because we've been here long enough, is thank you, Aaron. Is we talk about rings, right? We talk about rings being a team accolade. 100% true. You need a team to win a championship. But if I'm the 8th man off the bench in the finals and I score 5 points in the game 6 of the finals and we win, I score 5 points. But the star of the team dropped 36.7 rebounds and 12 assists. Is my 5 points better than his because I was on the team? No, the player that is the best player on the team matters the most. So when a team wins a championship, the credit will go to the top 2 or top 3 best players on that team. I say top 2, top 3 because nowadays we have 3 stars on a team sometimes. KD, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. You feel me? I don't know any other example off the top of my head, but that shit, funky ass 5 points. But I'm just saying right. But I'm just saying, like, I don't have the credit Kobe has. Like, Lamar Odom doesn't get the credit Kobe has. Fuck it. Ron Artest hit the shot that won them the fucking, you know, an important
Right.
ass game. He doesn't
That's
get
a good point.
credit like Kobe gets the credit
Mhm.
because Kobe is the best player on the team. The best player on the team
Ray Allen
gets
is
most
another
of
one.
the credit. Ray Allen hitting the shot.
He didn't hit the
Y'all,
shot though.
Who?
Ron hit the shot.
y'all, Kobe passing the ball.
Yeah, but he didn't hit the shot though, bro.
He said he made
Ron
it.
hit the game winning shot.
He did.
The shot that
wasn't
put him up.
it was a shot that put him up, but that's not the game winning shot.
But I didn't say game winning
Right.
shot. I said Ron hit the shot.
I mean,
He hit the shot.
He hit a shot.
He hit the shot, and then he said that Kobe never passed me the ball. Kobe passed me the ball. You feel me? But I'm just saying, even in that moment, Kobe still gets credit. You feel me? Gets most of the credit.
As he should. He was the best.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Not
To
that
not to
game.
us,
Papa Shaw was the
not
best
to
player in that
us.
game.
Not to us,
I'm
Boo.
telling you.
To the people out there
Scoring
that's saying
points.
that this stuff doesn't matter or rings is a team sport. No, rings are a team accolade, right? But the individual who's the front guy on the team, it's more of his accolade than it is the team's accolade. Because if I take Kobe off of his 5 championships, does the Lakers win? No. So you can't call that a team. You can't call that a team accolade.
He won one title out of them 5. Shaq was that good. He probably would still got one. But
I don't know. It depends on who else next to him. It really depends on who else. Shaq. I don't think Shaq wins one by himself.
It depends on who's next to him for sure. But I'm still saying, like, yeah, you can't just flat out take Kobe off those teams. I agree.
I'm with you, Adam. I'm giving. What does it matter if you shoot 32% or 42%? Don't matter to me. But yeah, like we need to change the debate. We need to get the group of guys that like speaking logically on sports and really start taking over the sports forums and stop letting niggas come up with shit like we're done with the 90s. All right.
Facts.
Now, like I said, it's spilling over the anime. It's spilling over the anime. And like my nigga, you know, Vegeta said, any one of you motherfuckers move and it's a final flash. You feel me?
Yes, my dog.
I'm just gonna tell you like it is, and I don't think any anime today handling a Vegeta's final flash, nigga. Because when he get into it, he get into it. But I want to move on. That was a great conversation, Aaron. I appreciate the attentiveness you was to that conversation. Made it a lot better of a conversation with the feedback. But now we're gonna get into some fun stuff that happened around the NBA. Isaiah motherfucking Thomas is back in the league, from what I hear. I heard the Suns signed him to a 10-day contract. We excited about this move up?
Well, he trying to get work his way back, man. I like this.
We're excited about this move up. Thank you, Aaron. We appreciate that. Drop that follow.
For real.
We appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
What, Mad New Yorker?
I think, yeah, we should appreciate it to a degree. Like, I think he was one of them dudes that definitely got like the short end of the stick in the NBA.
Is that a pun?
I mean, yeah and no. It's like
Wait, hold on, New Yorker.
Like,
hold on.
And like when I think about what he did for Boston.
Hold on. You're not talking about A.A. Ron, bro. You ain't no way in hell you talking about A.A. Ron, bro.
Hey, Moo, pay attention.
You can't be hating in the chat, bro. You can't be hating in the chat, bro.
Hey, Moo, listen to me. PVT. Look, check that chat. PVT.
Like you can't be you can't be hating in the chat, man, New Yorker. But go ahead, boo.
I'm crying.
I think it's dope to definitely see IT back in the league because again, I think like he just caught the short end of a stick. He got one of the nastiest injuries you probably can get as an NBA.
I'm talking about IT.
You know what I'm saying? A hip injury.
Oh, you're talking about Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, he's talking about IT. I was about to say you can't be talking about A.A. Ron.
No,
now you boo out. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, though, it's just like I said, like he caught a nasty injury, which I think is just as similar to your knee, a hip injury, because
we want the video, bro.
It literally slows down your movement from right to left, things of those natures, like the quickness of it. You know, so and on top of that, for what he did for Boston that year in the playoffs, like it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like he literally lost his sister in a tragic situation and came out there and gave them people, I think 50.
And Boston said, "See you later."
That's cool.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on.
That's cool, but like he was a one-man army on that team offensively.
Jeremy Lin, what Jeremy Lin did in New York is, in my opinion, Mad New Yorker, is not even close to what Isaiah Thomas did in Boston, because Isaiah Thomas did it for a season. Jeremy Lin did it for a week. So if Jeremy Lin tried to come back and make a return, we would laugh at him.
He did it for multiple seasons though for Boston.
Like, Isaiah Thomas, yeah, but I'm just saying though, his biggest come out was that one season he did it consistently where he averaged, I believe, 30 points. But he's saying, what if Jeremy Lin comes back? And it's like Jeremy Lin never was what Isaiah Thomas was.
No, he never was. Like, he just never was. And at the end of the day, what Isaiah Thomas still did for Boston in that last year in particular, and for him to get traded, you know, honestly, and I understood the trading him for Kyrie, who at that time, regardless of what I thought Isaiah was doing, still thought Kyrie was probably better. Like, just what it was. It wasn't no knock against Isaiah, but I still thought he took a pretty fucked up deal at the end of the day. Like, you go to a Cleveland team that's still projected to go to the finals because they got LeBron, but you can't play. On top of that, you kind of feel the need to rush back, as you can understand why he would to a degree. You know, he just coming out of, I think he was top 5 in MVP that year. You know, you just coming off a type of year like that, you kind of just want to still kind of like put it all out there again just to show you that you still like that. But I think he kind of rushed himself back. But I also just still feel like at the end of the day, seeing him today, kind of like trying to resurge his career, I'm not mad at it at all. Like, I do think he should have still been in the league to a degree. I just think he just got a short end of the stick. Like, and sometimes it be like that when you a player that's definitely not projected to be like what he was. Like, how many 5'9" players we know average damn near 30 points a game in the league? He is the only one that you probably could think of for real.
Muggsy Bogues didn't do that.
AI was short.
Nate Robinson didn't do
that. That's the people that you kind of gotta kind of compare him to. The Nate Robinson,
Carmelo, 100%.
The fucking Spud Webbs of the world. You know what I'm saying? Muggsy Bogues of the world.
It's another Joe Johnson in the big three.
You know, like, he went out there and did that thing. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, to me, like, for a person like me, like, because I know I was a dog on the court too. I just didn't, you know, like, when you're not 6 feet plus, bro, like, it's not a lot of people really like telling you, because you're not an athlete and things of that nature, like, man, hey, you got it though. And IT believed enough in himself to the point where he got himself to college and to the NBA and became like a top 5 MVP player. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's, to me, that's big. That's big shit. That's big shit. So,
DJ?
To follow back what Buwap was saying, hey, let me tell y'all, man, IT was one of my favorite players in college at Washington. That Washington team was so good. Yeah, but seriously, I'm happy that he's trying to get back in the league. He was one of the most explosive players we've seen from somebody that was under 6 foot. I mean, you name me one person that averaged over 25 outside of Allen Iverson as a 6 foot player, 6 foot or under player. You can't do it. Isaiah averaged 28.9 points. He had 2 All-Star appearances. This dude was he had 3 seasons where he averaged over 20. He had one with Sacramento and he had the 2 with Boston. It's just unfortunate that he had his sister pass and got injured. But it's good to see him back in the league. He was one of my favorite players to watch. That year with Boston was electric. it was absolutely electric to see IT go crazy like that.
Should I add IT to the wall? No, I can't do that. But go ahead.
Why not? I'm just joking.
Don't get me started, but go ahead.
I'm joking, man. I'm joking. I know why you ain't gonna add IT to the wall. I'm just saying though. Them couple of years he was in Boston, he was very good. Damn near dominant, especially because he finished top 5 in voting. That second year he was in Boston. It's just, I think he couldn't defend because he was just undersized. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing when you hear Kobe say, we are lucky that Allen Iverson wasn't 6'6". I mean, one could say the same thing about Isaiah Thomas those years in Boston. If Isaiah Thomas, let's just say he was 6'3" or 6'4", Steph Curry side, he might have lit the league up on fire. Like no jokes aside, IT was really that dude at scoring. Could he play defense? No.
Not a lick.
But here's one thing I do know. From the time he got there until after he left, and even now, the culture for the Boston Celtics changed when he elevated himself to all-star level. I don't think Boston has had a losing season from the time Isaiah Thomas got there up until now. He changed the whole culture. Even though they traded him for Kyrie and things like that, he changed the whole culture. Isaiah Thomas is literally the definition of what we would call a hood legend. A hood legend. He really is. He walked into Boston. He fucked shit up. Then he left Boston, carved out it's still a pretty solid NBA career. It's just unfortunate that the injury he got really hurt him in the end.
When he walked into Boston, did he have blue suede shoes on?
Oh my God. Why would you ask me that?
Somebody brags about 60 in blue suede shoes. So. Just wanted to know if Isaiah Thomas did it. So.
I don't think Isaiah was wearing Dolce & Gabbanas. But regardless of the fact, man, yeah, I'm happy for Isaiah. I'm happy he's working his way back in the NBA, got the 10-day contract. I think they moved him out of the league too soon because he's still capable of scoring. So, especially in the area where the defense is, he said he had a blue suede headband. I still think Isaiah Thomas is capable of scoring and contributing to any team. So I'm happy for him. I like Isaiah Thomas. I'm happy for him, and I hope he signs a deal. I don't care if he which Mad New Yorker said, well, he's 35. Well, players are playing now until they're 38, still at the top level. 36, 37. Steph Curry is what, 35, 36? Still an MVP candidate. LeBron is 40. I mean, KD is up there too. I mean, this is not your grandfather's NBA. People aren't getting beaten up in their careers no more like they used to be. So I don't see why he couldn't.
Body ain't taking that much abuse. Yeah.
Right. So I don't see why it's a problem that he's 35.
Some of them using steroids.
That might be true.
Mulich?
That might be true. I ain't gonna lie to you. That might be a really solid point you just said there, Trey. But I'm glad IT's back in the league. I've been calling it for years. He should have never been out the league. Just unfortunate circumstances, like his sister passing and him getting hurt. But I feel like when you do that much for a franchise, they should look out for you in some way, shape, or form. So I definitely been calling for him to get back in the league somewhere. He's still a viable scorer. He's still a viable asset, especially on offense. I get it. He doesn't play defense, but he's not very big. So of course that's just, it is what it is, right? But he's still a viable piece on offense. He's still a really good locker room guy, really good vet to have around. Can teach the young kids a lot, especially about perseverance, working hard to get where you want. And not, giving up on somebody, not letting somebody give up on you just because of a certain, attribute that you weren't born with. So, yeah, I've been calling for IT to get back in the league for years. I'm just glad to finally see it happen.
All righty. Yeah, good luck to IT. Appreciate what you did for Boston. Boston kicked your ass out like that. It wasn't, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. But moving on, I'm going to start with you, Mulich. Simple question. Just a simple. We ain't got to stay on this too long. A couple of months ago, Kawhi Leonard got an extension with the Clippers. Paul George came out and said, I think a day or two after that it shouldn't be he feels like a deal should be done, an extension should be done with him and the Clippers soon. Well, we are 3 months removed from those comments, and Paul George still does not have an extension. So my question to you guys, really simple, is should the Clippers extend Paul George? Mulich.
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't think they are.
You think they keep James?
Yep, I think they ultimately keep James, and I think Paul George is on the move this summer.
He goes to
There's already
Golden
been a
State.
lot of whispers, and I don't know about that, but I know there's been a lot of whispers that Paul George wants to get paid, and he wants a contract. He wants to be extended by the Clippers, but if they're not going to do it, then he's definitely willing to walk, and he's willing to test the free agency market. So,
I think he'll have a good market, DJ.
Oh, definitely. I think so too as well. He went off for 41 points the other night, so most definitely.
I think they should extend him only if it makes sense. And the reason why I say that is because at this point, we have seen Clippers need to move both James and George. Okay. I think Paul George is probably going to be looking for the max. And if he's looking for the max, I don't think the Clippers should extend him. His NBA career says he's injury prone. And that is an issue when you extend players. I understand they extended Kawhi, but if you extend Kawhi and you extend Paul George and they're both injury prone, who the hell exactly is going to be on the court playing for you? I'm lost at that. Obviously, they got Russ at a discount, so I think Russ is there for the next 2 years. Was it the next 2 years or the next year after this season? I don't remember. But
I think he signed a 1-1, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I believe so.
So, and it's a team option. I do believe it's a team option to keep him. I think they'll keep Russ after this season. If Paul George is looking for a max contract, which is looking at Jaylen Brown just got, what was it, $304 million. So Paul George would think he's a better player, and he'll be looking for around the same or even more. He's going to be looking for Jason Tatum money. And it's not going to make sense to sign him for Jason Tatum money, especially at the age as he is, as he is, and the fact that he's injury prone. You've already been through this 4 straight years now. And if they don't get it done this year, what team would give him a max? I don't know what team would give him a max, but somebody's
the Pistons.
The problem with free agency is somebody always overpays
The
for a
Knicks.
player. Oh yeah, the Knicks could.
The Knicks.
Possibly.
Because Jalen
They
Brunson
got
did not
money.
sign the Supermax. The Knicks do have money. Oh man, that would be scary. That'd be scary. Good call, Troy. But
oh shit!
Don't rule out an Atlanta return either.
But the fact of the matter is, he's going to be looking for max money, and you extend the Kawhi, and if you give Paul George the Supermax, James Harden is gone the following year. I know James Harden got traded there, but James Harden will be gone. And I just feel like at this point, this year is the max we're going to get with this whole Clippers experiment. Will it go down as one of the biggest failures in NBA history?
I gotta put my glasses on.
Did he say PG to Philly?
Is that ATN?
Wild.
I can't see that right. Is that ATN? That looks like that's ATN. What's up, nigga? ATN in the building.
I think this year is probably the best Clippers team that they could put around Kawhi Leonard and Paul George as they're healthy. And if they don't win this year, it's like, okay, we've already reached the max potential we can with y'all. It's time to just move on. Because what you're going to do, because what you will eventually do is find yourself in Clippers purgatory like the Clippers has always been before Chris Paul and Blake Griffin got there. They're just the stepsisters to the Lakers. So you just gonna have to move on.
I don't agree with you, Carlos. I don't think Tibbs will destroy Paul George's career. I don't know where you get that from, but only person career he destroyed was Evan Fournier's. Fuck you, me. Shout out to ATN. In the building. That's our boy right there. Much love to ATN. Bua. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Oh man.
Boo-Wop, you there? That was poetic. That was poetic. Thank you, Boo-Wop. We're gonna be moving on. We're gonna be moving on. All right. So last thing on not last thing on our agenda, but just this is a quick one. I got 3 teams that clinched the playoffs: Nuggets, OKC, and Boston. Which one do you have making the finals?
Your boy say Boo-Wop stay cooking.
Yeah, Boo-Wop cooking right now in his GED class.
Oh my God.
'Cause
All right, what's the 3 teams you said?
Nuggets, OKC, and Boston.
Be real quick before I answer this question: is Jamal Murray going to be healthy? Oh, we just playing to roll it out as we go game.
We don't know who's going to be healthy.
That's a really good question.
I think if you look at Boston, Milwaukee's cooking right now at the right time. They're starting to get stuff together. I don't know if Boston has anybody to guard Giannis.
Team effort like we did last year. What you talking about?
Yeah, but Dame is a consistent scorer. He didn't have another consistent scorer on that team too.
And Porzingis is a consistent scorer too. So
we
got more questions than they got question marks all over the series.
I think the only reason why I say that is because I think Boston and Milwaukee will be a closer series than the Nuggets if they go against you said the Clippers?
I don't know. Nobody else clean. Oh, OKC.
Oh, OKC. Okay. So I think the Nuggets have a better chance of making the finals than Boston or Milwaukee, because I can't pick a winner of that series. But
I mean, Boo-Wop got Boston clearly.
I can clearly say that I think the Nuggets would beat OKC in a series. The problem is the rest of the West with the Nuggets. And I think the Clippers can beat the Nuggets in a series, especially if Jamal Murray isn't playing. But if I have to go with my gut here, I am taking the person I went with at the beginning of the season to be MVP, which is Jason Tatum. I am taking the Boston.
He ain't going to be doing
Celtics.
that, Carlos.
I'm taking the Celtics.
Mulich.
I got the Celtics, and as currently constructed right now, OKC. If Jamal Murray's not healthy, then I don't see anybody that can really hang with
OKC make the finals this year?
Too much power. That might be a hot take, but
yes, I know Murray is fine and just an ankle tweak, but every time it comes around, except the year they won a championship, Murray seems to tweak something else other than his ankle.
And Michael Porter Jr. back starts hurting.
Yes.
Something. Michael Porter Jr. started hurting.
And I had back surgery in September. He didn't. You feel me? And that nigga back always fucking with him.
This nigga.
You feel me? Boo-Wop, who you got?
Let's go through something.
I knew that's who you was gonna pick. Thank you, Boo-Wop. Yo, we got the Knicks and Spurs had a game on Friday. Wemby spoils Jalen Brunson's major night and then chucks the ball into the stand. Quick thoughts on the game, Lich?
I thought that shit was hilarious. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I thought that the Knicks would win handily, but Wemby literally came alive, man. He's starting to really come into his own and starting to really understand the game of NBA basketball compared to where he, grew up playing, and the game is starting to really come to him at a quicker, faster rate, starting to slow down for him. So that 40 and 20 was insane to see. Not to mention what he's been doing on the defensive side of the ball. But Jalen Brunson literally going off for 60 to try to literally for just keep him in the game was wild. Just seeing him go back and forth was crazy. But I loved it. Throwing the ball into the stands after, like, yeah, nigga, fuck your ball, fuck your career night, nigga. We got the win.
DJ.
I would just like to tell y'all, what did I tell y'all the other day was the second most important aspect of basketball outside of scoring? Rebounding. And it reared its head again. 40 and 20? 40 and 20. Bruh, that is insane. And Jalen Brunson's 61 points is insane too. But I got a friend named Barry who I plan to bring on the show in a couple of weeks once we get to playoffs, because he's emphatically telling me the Knicks this, the Knicks that, the Knicks this, the Knicks that, Knicks are going to the finals and things like that. You can be a great scorer and not win games. You could be a great scorer and not win the championship. I'm not saying that's Jalen Brunson, but when Jalen Brunson goes off of 61 points, he doesn't really affect the game in other ways. When Wemby goes off of 40, he still grabs 20 rebounds, and his 40 and 20 is more dominant than just your 61 points. So, I mean, Jalen Brunson, they got to find another star to pair with him. They absolutely do.
Everybody hurt.
Preferably, no, I'm just saying, preferably a low post player or elite rebounder would be probably best for the Knicks right now. But man, phenomenal game on both sides. I did enjoy seeing Jalen Brunson cook, because Jalen Brunson was cooking. You could tell right away from the game that he was gonna have a special game. So shout out to Jalen. That might be the highest scoring game in Madison Square Garden since Kobe dropped his 60. But I'm not too sure. But that might be it.
Well, I mean, the Knicks should be. They're getting Mitchell Robinson back, so.
Oh yeah, for sure.
From his injury.
Buap ain't even on the screen no more, Troy.
I know.
I have no idea when Indiana Mobley's about to come back. No one know when Julius Randle is about to come back, so that's definitely going to hurt the Knicks going into the playoffs, which has been hurting them the whole time. That's the reason why they can't string together any solid wins, because they have nobody really out there. It's just Jalen Brunson and a whole bunch of other guys.
So is LSU out?
Yeah, LSU's out.
LSU lost.
And that's Adrian Russ's team, right?
Well, just to be clear, ATN, since you wanna bring that up, look at the difference in 3-pointers made. Like literally, it's a math equation, bro. Come on, it's literally a math equation. If they make the same amount of field goals, when I was checking the stats in the fourth quarter, they made the same amount of field goals, but Iowa had 7 more 3-pointers made. What do you think is going to happen in the game?
Not to mention, when you watch the game, you don't have to look at the box score numbers to know that LSU was horrible from the inside. Like they were horrible from 3, but they were horrible from the inside. Horrible from the inside. Missed putbacks, missed layups, second chance points, third chance points, fourth chance points. They were smoking layups left and right. Way too many missed opportunities on the inside, bro. They shot 38% from the field.
Now, I'm not saying I don't want ATN is talking like I'm saying rebound is. Yes, I know LSU are rebounding them, but here the difference. The difference here is, though, even though they got out rebounded, is the field goal percentage. The field goal percentage was completely different. The amount of 3-pointers made was different. Maybe you don't watch JJ Redick's podcast, but let me explain something to you. JJ Redick once said, when they played against Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors in the second round, they literally made 15 more field goals by the third quarter against them, and they looked up and Golden State was only down by 3 points. Do you understand the math equation that happens in basketball too? I don't think you understand that. And the fact that you're sitting here arguing that is absolutely ridiculous.
And they didn't lose because they literally lost because they won the rebound game. Like they couldn't score on the inside for shit. They smoked at least 20 second chance points. At least. Like they won the rebound game, sure, but if you win the rebound game and you're right in the basket and you're smoking second chance points, that you'll never win ever.
ever, and they smoked second, third chance points literally all game from the beginning to the end of the game.
Rebounding is that important because if you give up a whole bunch of offensive rebounds and teams get second chance points, you're probably going to lose that game. Matter of fact,
Especially
the
if they convert
correlation.
on those second chance points.
Matter of fact, the correlation between rebounding and winning is a lot higher in percentage wise than it would be if you get out rebounded. We've already been through this on another episode. We just need to send you the other episode because it's definitely a fact in the statistics that if you win the rebound battle, you're probably going to win the game over 70% of the time. There are anomalies, and tonight was an anomaly.
Especially offensive rebounds.
Yes.
Because they got a lot of offensive rebounds, just couldn't finish. So that's unfortunate.
All right. ATN, if you want to talk about it, bring your ass on the show next Monday.
Yeah, for sure. Because what you're saying don't make no sense.
Ooh, DJ got some beef.
You're damn right I do.
To get cooked again.
Oh boy.
I remember what happened last time. But then I don't know, ATN. You came against me last time. That's why you got cooked. You know, it always happens. You know, DJ got a little frying pan he like putting people in. I don't know if you want to go on that one, but he got the smallest frying pan that come in the set. You feel me?
Yeah, but defense is not a statistic. You see what I'm saying? You're missing the point here. Defense is not a statistic. I could block 10 shots in the game and still lose the game. What are you talking about?
And I made a fake list, and you got cooked with that fake list, nigga, because I'm the number 9 best power forward all time, nigga.
Stop playing with my boy.
28 and 15. What the fuck do you niggas mean?
Damn, my numbers went up. My numbers went up. I'm retired 46 years ago. My numbers went up.
Absolutely. 28 and 15. What are we talking about, bro? They better stop playing with him.
Hey, Mo, you better tell them the pace of the game changed. And when the pace of the game changed, the statistics
the averages go up.
Percentage, you got to tell them.
You feel me?
You see ATN? I'm on the list, man. It wasn't fake. It was a real list.
My boy was dropping threes at a 42% per clip. What are you talking about?
I was dropping quadruple doubles. You don't understand. All right. I was out here with 20, 20, 20, and 20, nigga.
Pros out there getting 5x5s on the daily, bro. Stop playing.
You feel me?
Come on, bro.
They call me
motherfucking
the triple double, nigga, because they ain't call me no single double. But anyway, and I got another list for you. You come up here next Monday, nigga. Put somebody else on that motherfucker.
And bring your cousin with you too.
You said bring your cousin, nigga. Any cousin. We don't care which one. Just bring one. just bring a random ass cousin. Call one by random.
You can bring cousin Marcus back with you too. He can get cooked again too.
Ooh, cousin Marcus there. He said bring your cousin with you. That's fucked up. But anyway, we done with the talks. I want to do the on this day, but it's a lot. It's a fucking lot. All right.
Well, this is the fastest we probably ever got to this in the past month. So go ahead.
All right. So April 1st, on this day in history of NBA basketball, some things that you might not have known. And 1947, Norm Vail Lai was born in East Liverpool, Ohio. All right. And in 1948, the Baltimore Bullets defeated the New York Knicks in the BAA qualifier, and they beat them 2-1 in the series. In 1950, the BAA qualifier, quarterfinals, nigga. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it was back in 48, nigga.
I gotta look that up because I don't know what that is.
Congratulations
to black. No, let me stop. That was the black. No, let me stop. Anderson, the Anderson Packers defeated the Indianapolis Olympians in the Western Division Finals 2-1 series. In 1959, Boston Celtics defeated the Syracuse Nationals in the Eastern Division Finals 4-3. In 61, the St. Louis Hawks defeated the Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Divisional Finals 4-3.
Just to chime in, Basketball Association of America.
There you go. The Black Association of America.
I said basketball.
In 64, Kevin Duckworth. He was born in Illinois. And then in 65, Mark Jackson was born in Brooklyn, New York.
All right.
66, Boston defeated the Cincinnati Royals in the Eastern Divisional semifinals 3-2. In 1967, we still in the 60s. I don't know if you guys realize that. We still in the fucking 60s.
That's crazy.
In 1967, records set most points by both teams in the third quarter was with 82, and it was between the Hawks and the Warriors. All right, 3 things happened on April 1st, 68. David Bing set the record for most field goals in a half in the playoffs with 16 in a loss to Boston. The Philadelphia 76ers defeated the Knicks in the Eastern Divisional semifinals 4-2, and Boston defeated the Pistons in the Eastern Division semifinals 4-2. All right, we're finally out the 60s. In 1970, Bill Cunningham of the Philadelphia 76ers scored 50 points on the Milwaukee Bucks. In 71, the New York Knicks defeated the Hawks in the Eastern Conference semifinals 4-1. In 1973, John Havlicek tied the record for most field goals in the playoffs at 24 in the win versus the Hawks. Also, John Havlicek of Boston Celtics, 54 points against the Hawks. You feel me? Alex, how you doing, brother? All right, 97. Kevin Porter of the Detroit dished out 25 assists. In 88, Brooke Lopez was born. And then we got Kevin Martin in 2009, scored 50 points on Golden State. And last but not least, we got James Harden of the Houston Rockets in 2015, dropped 51 points on the Sacramento Kings. You feel me? Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that. He said, that's it. He said, that's it. We done with the 60s. How? You can't be. You can't be, Alex. It's too much. On this day, it's like 7 things from the 60s, bro. You got 61, 64, 65, 66, 67, and 68, bro. It's not, you can't even skip a year in the 60s, you feel me? But anyway, I feel bad because I don't know what happened to Boo-Wop. He's still there, but he's not there. I was hoping he was going to say something, but he didn't. He didn't text me back either. But we still got to get to his favorite segment. I mean, we do it with him in the GP in his GPA class, trying to fix his GPA. That's what Boo-Wop doing. But drop that shit. Get to this 1v1 me, bro. Got a good 1v1 me, bro, for you guys today. Now we get to Boo-Wop's favorite segment, because you know we can't do a show without Boo-Wop's favorite segment. You the bro in the 1v1. We can't do a 1v1 without you, bro.
Troy is the one, moves the V, I'm the one, and you're the bro.
Bro. You feel me? Even when he not here, man, we still dropping the video. I don't care. This is Boo-Wop's segment. You feel me? 1v1 me, bro. All right, today I got a good one for you. It's simple, man. I got Ray Allen versus Klay Thompson. Who you guys got?
This isn't hard for me. This is not hard for me. I'm going Ray Allen. I think people forget how cold Ray Allen was in handling the ball and initiating offense when he was in Seattle, and more importantly, when he was in Milwaukee.
In a 1v1?
We've never seen Klay Thompson initiate offense and handle the rock to be a point guard. Ray Allen used to cross over, go to the rim, dunk, finish at the rim, shoot threes. He did it all. Shoot mid-range. I am going with Ray Allen.
Smooth.
1v1. Yeah, I'm going Ray Allen. A lot of people don't realize Ray Allen really got a bag. Shout out to my boy Klay, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Klay, but he done. I just wanted to do that to Klay. You feel me?
You out of line.
I just wanted to do it to Klay. But anyway, DJ, you know what time it is. We gotta drop something else on these motherfuckers.
So, as y'all seen, what just came across and in the post. I was at work today, or last week, rather, and we literally got into debate over Hakeem and Shaq, which was fine for me because we finally took a whole layoff from the Jordan LeBron debate, and I love it. So my question to y'all on this day is, who would you pick was the better center? Would you go with the most dominant force, in Shaq, or would you go with the most skilled, probably player ever in Hakeem? I want to remind everybody that when Hakeem retired, he was number 1 in blocks, top 10s in steals, top 10 in the rebound, and top 10 in scoring. And he was very good at shooting free throws. For most of you, you might go Shaq because he won 3 titles in a row. But I also want to remind you, when Jordan was out of the league, Hakeem won back-to-back, and that might have been as wide open as it has ever been in the NBA, and anybody could have won at that time. So if you sit here and ask me, and, I got a Rocket shirt on, so I might be biased, but I don't care. If you ask me, I am going with Hakeem over Shaq.
All right. I mean, in the post, who you got? Hakeem, Shaq. You feel me? But now it's my time to get to the damn question. You feel me? Ooh, I'm sleep. I'm just telling y'all that. That nigga went to sleep.
Boo-Wop is on the cloud 9 John Legend was referring to.
That nigga didn't even smoke the blunt yet. That nigga went to sleep. All right. So for you guys that was not here for the question of the day, I will repeat it for you before these guys give you their answer. And the question of the day is, if you could change one NBA rule, which rule would you change? Mulich. DJ. No, let me stop.
Actually, can I change an unwritten rule? Does that count?
Sure.
Like an unwritten rule, quote unquote.
I'm with it.
I would change that bullshit ass you can't score when you're up in the time.
I knew that shit was coming.
He
Play
said
defense.
three.
Play defense. Nigga, 3 seconds left. 0.5, 0.4. I'm up by 55. I am pulling. And if you got an attitude, you can see me about it.
DJ?
Alex, just to answer your question, I'm gonna say Clay in his prime was a better defender. Okay, now back to the question. If I could change any rule in the NBA right now, and y'all might not agree, and I don't care, is that bitch ass, stupid ass 0 step when guys go to the basket before they start their gather. That got to be the stupidest rule they ever made. They can literally take 3 steps to the damn basket now. That changes a whole bunch of shit as to who can score in what era, bro. It's annoying. There's no such thing as a 0 step. Yes, because you can take an extra.
This shit.
Plays at a foul, I can come back and and be given 1 foul. That would be nice. I'm not gonna lie. I like that one. That's a good one too. But that 0 step literally changes players from being unable to score at the basket into elite scorers, because now a defender has to guard 3 steps. If you got to guard the 0 step too. The 0 step is the stupidest thing they've ever done in basketball. It changed the game so much to where it's too many good finishers at the basket now, and they make them all look like stars because of that damn 0 step. I'm taking that away. No 0 step.
Hey, I'm gonna change the rule that you can't throw the ball off the opponent's face. I want off the heezies every night, nigga. I want off the heezies every night, nigga. Get smacked, nigga.
Wait, is that a rule you can't really do it?
No, I don't know. Nobody does it. Why nobody do it?
It might be called a foul. You're right.
That might be
Bink, bink. You just throw the ball over LeBron's face. Bink. Fuck you talking about?
I would.
Swap, bink, swap, bink, 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 just smacking that nigga with the wall. Bink, bink, nigga, like, yo, you can't hit him that many times, bro. Tell him to back up, man, go. Tell him back up, ref. I'm gonna keep dinking his ass, nigga.
I do like Alex's suggestion though. Players at a foul that can come back in OT and they get one.
Yeah, that's a
foul.
fire one. Yeah, that's a fire one. That's a fire one. I like that one. Because
I would have never
players
thought of that.
Foul out and then overtime they can't come back in, but then I think that's weird too, because if you foul out, you're supposed to be out. But if you come back in, you get 1 foul, you out. Nigga, that's it.
So I think if they would have let people foul out and come back in the game, you should be extended a foul if you haven't reached to 6 yet to get fouled out, and that would be another thing that they'd have to add. It's like if you end the game in regulation with foul.
And I know Aaron said hand checking. He would bring the hand checking rule back, I think.
Yep.
So that's a good one too. Good one too. Maybe I'll shorten the 3-point line so everybody can shoot them. You know. Everybody shoot the three short the 3-point line. Everybody can shoot them. You know? Why not?
Nah, I don't like that one.
Why not? Then Bobo will be Wimby.
Oh my God. And that's the point. He's not Wimby.
Not the fuck at all.
You know you can't speak too loud, bro. Bobo he gets salty when you talk about women.
I don't give a damn.
He said, "Stop dick eating." That's what he said.
See,
Oh, wait,
but see that's
I ain't
pretty
gonna lie, I gotta
hard.
get that stuff.
That's if you flop a fake injury, you have to sit out. That's hard to judge, though.
Nah, yeah. If you get called for a floppy, you got to sit out. You got to go straight to the bench.
Yeah.
That's up you out. I'm with that.
But faking injury is hard.
Yeah, faking injury.
It's
Yeah,
hard.
you can't tell because the doctors could be on your side. Like
Mhm.
they can have an X-ray from somebody else 2 years ago. But
Yeah.
like, look, his tibia is broke.
You know what? I think maybe it should just be if you
can't
got to be
walk.
carried out the game. If you got to be carried out the game, definitely.
Nah, because then everybody gonna do the Paul Pierce, bro. They're gonna get the wheelchair.
That's fine. But if you got to sit out 5 minutes.
Nah, you got to sit out a quarter.
Well, that's literally the rule right now. You got to sit out for the rest of the quarter if you don't shoot your free throws when you get fouled. But if you, yeah,
Because Larry Bird ain't sitting out no quarter. He the only one that could get injured, come back, and that same thing and get subbed back in the game and the play going on. You feel me?
I tend to disagree. I'm going with Kobe on that one too.
Nah.
Kobe played with broken fingers, bro. You can't tell me otherwise, dog.
Nigga, do
Kobe
you know
tore his
how-
Achilles
nigga,
and made free throws.
Nigga, do you know once your back goes, everything else goes with it?
Yes, I do.
So
But
I don't give a fuck what Kobe.
Kobe's
What
pain
Kobe
tolerance.
did.
No,
Bird's pain tolerance. What we talking about here? Bird's pain tolerance.
I think Kobe's pain tolerance is high enough
We're gonna
be able to come back.
Final thoughts. We're gonna have to take a vote.
All right, set it up.
We're gonna set it up when ATN come back on. Final thoughts moment.
Hey man, it was a really great show. Really dope energy and conversation in the chat. So shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate y'all for sliding through.
Hey, Aaron, Alex, Around the Horn, Mad Hatter.
Yeah, all y'all. Yeah, man, feel me. I appreciate all y'all for sliding through. Keep rocking with us. We're gonna bring y'all the dope content every single time. Make sure you guys slide through for the rest of the week. Check out all the other shows. Gentlemen's Talk, PVT, Inside the Huddle, and we'll see y'all soon.
DJ?
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all tune in Wednesday. We are going right back to the round of 32 on villains
Devin Booker
through
got
all
50.
genres. And it's been a fire topic so far. Get on my Facebook page, Micah Bacchus. The link will be there. You get on YouTube at From the Sidelines. We're there too. You know what I'm saying? So y'all keep rocking. Want to subscribe, share, and like the podcast, please. I know y'all are loving the content because the engagement and the comments have been up a lot over all shows. You know what I'm saying? Thursday, y'all rock with Moo on PVT. That show is doing really, really great right now. It's been fire conversations. Of course, on Friday, best damn football show coined by the one and only me. And then, of course, right back here on Monday with me, Troy, Moo, and Boo Wop on Basket to Basket. Gone.
And Boo Wop will be here next week, we promise. But you guys have a good night.